folks, I'm hoping that 3 times is the charm because for whatever reason, I don't want Firefox to ever say, listen, I didn't give this a shot. My name is Brent Harding, and you are watching the Wealth Warrior Group broadcast on Saturday mornings. And this morning, we're going to hit it this time, okay, with real estate, location, location, location. August is the month for real estate. And so I am hoping that all of you have got your eyes on the prize of real estate. Why do I keep pointing that and pushing that? Because that is the foundation for wealth. There is not a wealthy person on the planet that does not have real estate, at least domestically being in the United States. If they do, that would be astonishing for me to hear that they do not have real estate in their portfolio. Why? Because no matter what, real estate actually grows in value. It is one item that you know is a consistent, and when I say consistent, I mean it is a consistent what am I trying to say? It is consistent in the fact that it will appreciate. When it goes down, it will come up. It is based on the cycle, and you stand a much better shot at having growth. And there are cycles in which you're going to have immense growth in your real estate. So I've got to share with you, this is something that you want to be cognizant of, that you want to be listening to, that you want to be focused in on. And I want to thank all of you last week who shared with me that there were some challenges relative to my Facebook post, my Facebook broadcast. I do apologize for that. We are working diligently. I'm about to call in Britt Johnson and say, Britt, what can I do? Because this is absolutely insane. Now, with that being said, we're just going to keep it rolling. How about that? Segment number 1, location, location, location. Segment number 2, educate yourself. Segment number 3, what are economists saying? And they are talking. With that being said, first things first, share the broadcast. Let other folks know this is something that you can do for free. It's a gift that you can give for free. And all you have to do is share it. So that's number 1. Second, this broadcast is being brought to you by Brent S. Harding. That's me. So it's brought to you by my brand, and I am glad to be sharing it with you. Let us move on and talk about location, location, location. Brent, why is that a pivotal conversation? It is pivotal. And when I say pivotal, I mean pivotal. It is pivotal because you can have the worst house in the best location, and it is going to have value. And it is going to have value. So it is critical mass that you be about the business of looking at locations. And I got to share something with you. Oftentimes, we like to stay in our own neighborhoods. We like to stay in our own states. I'm going to encourage you to understand that wealthy people have property in other locations. Have you ever watched any shows where it is speaking about the rich and the famous, or it is speaking about the wealthy, or it is speaking about real estate? In every one of those instances, I've got news that you can use. They have properties in other locations. Other locations. Yes, you have a home base. So let's say Massachusetts is your home base. By the way, if you have ever been to any of those classes regarding wealth, regarding real estate, if you've ever been to any of those classes, you will note that Massachusetts has very few properties that are on a list of purchasing for below value or the foreclosures or something of that nature. Massachusetts is pretty rich in its property and people sustaining and holding on to property in comparison to the rest of the country. Now, it is an excellent place to learn about real estate. It is an excellent place to get a deal. However, you've got to be willing to do the work to make that deal come alive. With that being said, come on, Brent! good to see you. And I'm going to see you live on Monday. I am so absolutely psyched. Yay! Thank you for being with me this morning. Now, that's a woman who definitely gets it and understands real estate. Not only does she understand the subject matter of real estate, I'll tell you what, she is on the watch. And that's what location means, that you've got to be on the watch. Last week, I talked about something. I said, go and check neighborhoods, write a personalized letter, slide it under people's doors saying, I'd like to talk with you, or do you know? Go and start traversing neighborhoods. Look at areas that are in play right now. What does that mean? That means they're nice neighborhoods. They will always be in a nice, comparable, beautiful neighborhood. There will always be property that is in play. Property that is having issues. In fact, I'll tell you, there was a software that a company was promoting, which was an incredible software. And you would be surprised how many neighborhoods are in play. Why are they in play? They are in play because those folks are barely holding on. Barely holding on. They are in the right neighborhood. They knew to be there. And quite frankly, are many of them looking for somebody to come in and take over, to give them money to get out of that property? You bet they are. There are people that would love for you to come in and take over their property. Give them money so that they can get out because they are underwater. What does underwater mean? That means that their debt has just usurped them. If you've got cash, and we talked about cash being king, then those locations, for example, in Massachusetts, we would be talking about the Newtons, the Ashlands, the Framinghams. There are plenty of people that are there who are in trouble. And they are 2 months away from foreclosure. And they managed to just stay ahead of the game. However, if you could make them an offer that they couldn't refuse, they would take that. So while I said that there are not a lot of foreclosures, what there are a lot of people that are 30 days away, that they are just staying in front of the 90-day notice. So they may let it go for 60 days and then make a payment, and they are always 60 days behind. If they could find the right kind of deal, they'd be taking it from you. Now, you also remember that when you look at location, not only are you looking at that, you're also looking at locations where you are seeing people watching. There are people that are watching. Sometimes, have you ever noticed that if you ever, let me see, how do I put this? You're seeing communities in which they are being targeted, if you will, by some of our internet companies. And so you're seeing groups of people, they get out in the morning, they canvass an area. Watch them, because those are areas that are also, if they are being targeted for services, those are areas that you may want to be watching for properties that could be available. Are people home during those days? Are they home during the week? What is going on? All these little characteristics tell you a lot about the location. Now, you also will likely remember that I talked about sidewalks, and I said, when you see sidewalks being opened up, new sidewalks being laid, ground being covered, in other words, the ground is being opened up, and you see work going on, hey, Brent, would I want to be in those areas? I don't know. I'm going to tell you, if that stuff is being done, that's generally the last thing to closing a neighborhood. So maybe I'm not necessarily interested because that pricing is too high. Hmm. How about a location where there are families and people do not want to take over that property? There are 2 and 3 generations of family, and maybe they've said, hey, I do not want to keep this property. I want to sell it and move someplace else. Maybe you have folks that are empty nesters that want to move to another location. Where are the popular locations that they want to move to? Location, location, location. So it's not just about you being here. It's about you being here, and it is about you being there. It is about educating yourself regarding real estate. And that's going to be the segment number 2. How about that? So before we get started with segment number 2, I want to say thank you again for folks that chimed in and looked in on the feed. I want to give a shout out to Joyce Simpson. Thank you, Joyce, for putting up that awesome gift. Woo! And I want to give a shout out again to Coco Bright. I want to give a shout out to my team, Sabor, Monica, Sahij, Josh, and Fernando, that many of you are going to meet on Monday, August 13th at the Holt International Business School, 1 Education Street in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I have the privilege of rolling out, giving a sneak peek of the Brent S. Harding makeover. Now, this is a company makeover. This is not a Brent makeover. Somebody asked that question. I thought, wow, that was a perfect question, because I would never have thought that they would be talking or thinking that it would be the makeover of Brent. You all see me every week. We've got an awesome team that has and is putting together the remake of what I am going to be doing for at least the next 10 years. We're going to be rolling out 3 different elements of that. 1 narrowly focused, and then 2 for future. So I want to give a shout out. Want to also give a shout out and a thank you to my marketing team led by Rogira Toussaint, and that is the company Urban Niche. Awesome, awesome, awesome woman. Has locations in Massachusetts and New York, and I'll tell you straight and strictly about the business. I do appreciate that. And I've got to give a shout out to my star client, and that is Boston Realty Group, headed up by Robert Nichols. Love those folks. They are pretty daggone amazing. And while I'm at it, let me give a shout out to the initial guests that said, yes, I'll be there. One is Al Peters. I am so looking forward to seeing him. And then out of the Pamela Stone, I'll tell you, that woman travels. She is serious about what she does. She is willing to travel. I appreciate her tremendously. She put Ohio on the map for me. So I wanted to make sure that I shared that. So again, the announcement, Monday, day after tomorrow, Monday, August 13th, I will be hosting the rollout, a sneak peek of Brent S. Harding makeover, which is being done by my team and also the marketing group. And I am enthusiastic. We have had great. Great. I'm going to be there. So we know that we're going to have attendees. Now we're getting nervous. So, when you're first doing things, you're like, oh, well, there'll be a few people. We got this. Now everybody's saying, who's going to be there? Who's going to be there? Because we've got some heavy hitters coming, and we're enthusiastic and excited. So Monday, August 13th, 6:15 p.m., be in the lobby. We've got to go through security at the school, and then we are going up to the 6th floor. So you're going to see myself or one of the team that's going to invite you upstairs. We're psyched. 6:15. Did I say that? Very good. 1 Education Street. Did I say that? Cambridge, Mass. Did I say that? Holt International Business School. Did I say that? Okay, then I've said it. Excellent, excellent, excellent. With that being said, I want to say good morning, Nelly Rosario. It's good to see you. I'll tell you, I love this woman tremendously. She said in one of her posts, I'm trying to get out of Philadelphia. I'm not sure I can help with that, but If you've got a location, put it in the feed and let some of the team, let some of our members, the community, help you find another location. There are some people that actually want to go to Philadelphia. With that being said, segment number 2, educate yourself. Educate yourself about real estate. And here's the deal. Please do not buy every service that you see. Do not be, I love something that Cammie Baker said recently, and that is shiny objects. Do not look at the shiny object to the left or the shiny object to the right. Stay focused. And what is the focus? The focus is to educate yourself. Educate yourself about real estate. There are so many classes on real estate investing. And here's the deal. If you are purchasing a property that is more than a single family unit, you're an investor. If you are purchasing real estate that is commercial, you're an investor. You're purchasing a 3-family, 4-family, you are an investor. Now, residential property is 1 unit to 4. Beyond 4, which means 5 and above, is either commercial real estate, it being that it's a commercial building, or it's commercial real estate, or it's commercial, if it is a commercial building, then it is commercial real estate. If you are purchasing units that start with 5, then that is real estate investment. You are a residential real estate investor. And it's important to know the distinction. It is important to know the language so that people will talk to you. You know what I found interesting is that the more language that you know that you're familiar with, the more people will ingratiate you and share information, the more that they want to talk to you, because they're talking to somebody that already gets it. They do not have to explain it. And I'm going to tell you something, people will test your knowledge. In my other life, I am a CNHP, which is a certified natural health professional. I graduated from school and thought I knew everything. So I was talking to a person who became my mentor, and also I did my clinicals with. And so I called him up because I wanted to come out and I wanted to do clinicals. And I figured I would dazzle him with my CNHP and MRT. So he says to me, Brent, how many times do you percuss the bottle, the tincture? Now, I knew the word tincture. I didn't know the word percuss. And there is this silence. And he knew that I didn't know. The conversation changed tremendously. So I am going to encourage you to do 2 things. Educate yourself and then be self-aware. That is something I learned from Dr. Letitia Wright. Be self-aware. Do more listening than talking. Move around the room. Hear other people's conversations so that you know what to ask. This is a time when you don't want to be dazzle people. You want to be in listening mode. You want to educate yourself contingent upon the real estate that you're interested in purchasing. Remember, when you go to a class, and please, I'm not begrudging the classes. That's their job. Their job is to ingratiate you. Their job is to give you just enough information that you go, I gotta have this software. I gotta have this. I gotta have that. Now, there is some software that you want to have. There is some course content that you want to have. However, I'm going to share this with you. Before you purchase anything, attend 3 classes. 3. Attend 3 courses before you purchase anything. Now, I know that the ones that actually put on these classes are not going to be appreciative of Brent Harding saying that. How dare she say that? We all have a job. You are right. We all have a job. And we get that. It is your money. Spend it wisely. Because I'm going to share something with you. And you're talking to a person that has spent double digits in a 1 year period of time on personal development, on professional development, on self help, on real estate. I have spent the money, so I am trying to help you spend it wisely. I'm not saying do not spend it, but spend it wisely to educate yourself. Take the basic classes, even if you don't like them. Why, Brent? Why would I want to take a basic class? You want to take a basic class because you're scanning the room. You may see people to partner up with, people to stay in contact with. That is powerful. So that is why you would want to. That is why you would want to attend some basic classes. Then you want to advance yourself to classes where you're going to see individuals that are on the same page that you are on. They too can be individuals that you want to partner with. And the probability is they are people that might have the cash to partner up with you. I got to stop for a moment. Christopher D. Jackson, yay! Oh my goodness, I am so looking forward to seeing you on Monday. I want to share with you, if you are ever thinking about doing business in Africa, in the sub-Saharan, that is the person to connect with. Christopher D. Jackson knows not only everything relative to doing business in Africa, he is looking for you as you are looking for him. Go up to his Facebook page, check him out on LinkedIn, connect with him. Or better yet, be with us on Monday and you will meet him live. How about that? With that being said, let me get back to educate yourself. I say this because I have seen so many individuals that are running in and they are plunking down the money to have somebody help them. And the reality is they may not know the questions. How do I know this? I speak from experience. Today, I know the questions to ask that I didn't know previously. And so I am able to interview somebody a heck of a lot better to make a determination on whether or not the time is right. Because sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And with that being said, we will make purchases and not follow through because it's a shiny object. Stay focused. Starve the distractions. Feed the focus. So, their libraries still exist. Kindle still exists. Read up. I'm a live class person. I like to go to classes. I like to have the human connection. Now, admittedly, they will exhaust you sometimes. They will exhaust the stew out of you. I get that. However, they are clearly worth it when you are focused on getting to the place that you need to be at. And that is to the point where you can make an informed decision. Then you want to purchase, because I'm going to tell you the average service, if you want a one-to-one service that you will get with some of these guides, the average service is going to be about $23,000 to $25,000. Your average cost for the software, do it yourself, is going to be about $5,000. So those are the parameters in which I want you to take a look at it. And the interesting thing is, when it comes to educating yourself, you know that you've got online with the YouTube, you've got that. You've got online YouTube that has a funnel that has a where you are actually paying, you're getting more detail. Then you're going and you're getting the live. Now, why again, I'm encouraging you to do this. Why? Because before you take that, see, you're taking a chunk of money out of the money that you would have to purchase to put into this software or to put into the guide. So if you're going to take that money, know that that's a chunk of the money that you could be using for the investment itself. With that being said, before I go into segment number 3, I'm going to hit the announcements again. We're going to do a recap of segment 1 and 2, and then we're going to wrap up with segment 3. How about that? Now, before we do, what does this mean? This means you share. That's right. You want to share this broadcast with somebody just before we close out. Is that okay? Of course it's okay. So, announcement Monday, August 13th. That is day after tomorrow. I am going to be hosting a sneak peek of Brent S. Harding Makeover, of the Brent S. Harding Makeover. I have an awesome team that's headed up by Monica, Sabora, Sahij, Josh, and Fernando. You will meet them live. This event is taking place at Holt International Business School, 1 Education Street in Cambridge. If you know how to get over to the Museum of Fine Arts, then guess what? You are 2 minutes away. There is on-street parking. There is also parking. There is a parking garage for the school. We are going to need for you to arrive at 6:15 so that you can make it through registration at security and then go upstairs to the 6th floor. We will have folks downstairs to help you to make your way upstairs. The event starts at 6:30. The presentation starts at 6:30. We need you to be there at 6:15 so we can usher you upstairs, because security, like in many locations, is very, very high. Want to give a thank you to the initial guest, Al Peters. Can't wait to see you there. Pamela Stone, looking forward to seeing you. Pamela is flying in. Wow. Christopher D. Jackson will be there as well. We've got an awesome group of people that are going to be attending. Want to give a thank you to my marketing team, and that company is Urban Niche. Rajira Toussaint heads up that company. Want to give a shout out and a thank you to one of my clients who I adore, and that is Boston Trust Realty Group. Robert Nichols is the president and CEO. These folks are phenomenal when it comes to real estate, and looking forward to seeing them. And lastly, be on the watch. Come September, I'm going to be breaking out with a number of news announcements. I am going to have breaking news, because remember, this Monday is a sneak peek, and then it moves forward like a flash. Okay, with that being said, let's do a wrap up of what we've been talking about here this morning. Location, location, location. Oh, I love that. I love those. Valerie H. Hall, thank you for joining. She said, Brent, I had to search far and wide to get you. Valerie, I get that. I am working diligently on figuring out why. So I'm back to my tech people. In fact, I will be meeting one of them tomorrow, Sunday, believe it or not. And this is a topic of conversation. With that being said, also, I want to now give a wrap up. And location, location, location. It's pivotal. You can have the crappiest house in the best location. In fact, an example of that, I was at one time a mortgage broker. I'm sure many of you remember that. I owned a mortgage brokering firm for 10 years. Did a transaction on the Cape. No exaggeration. Shack. It was a shack. In fact, it needed to be torn down shack. However, because it was in the Cape Cod area, massive, massive, massive land mass, the value shot through the roof. Phenomenal. It was the location. And what was interesting is the developer who purchased it actually built the new house over the old house, because see, in that area, you could not, there was certain building codes that were now in play, and the developer could not build based on the footprint of the new. However, because that property was grandfathered in, he literally just built right over that house, demolished it from the inside. Phenomenal. So location, location is pivotal. I'm going to encourage you to do a few things. Go around your own neighborhood, then start neighborhood by neighborhood by neighborhood. I want to make sure that you heard something loud and clear that I shared, and that is many people in ritzy areas are 60 days away from foreclosure. They are looking for you. If you've got cash, they are looking for you. They are willing to negotiate you taking over that mortgage. And some people say, oh, Brent, that's not true. It is true. It is true. They are looking for somebody to take over, make them an offer they cannot refuse. I'll tell you what, about 8 years ago, when I was taking a class with Alan Kaczynski, we bought a piece of property and it was a $10,000 takeover. $10,000, ushered that person out, and I got my money back. The money, you could have either stayed in the deal or not stayed in the deal. I got out of the deal, got the money back for the class. I was a happy clam. Other people that stayed in the deal made some money when the property was sold. So there are deals out there. Massachusetts is a challenge. Why? Because we are rich. Why are we rich? Because of the schools that we have here. So I'm going to encourage you to be looking in the New England area, and then look in other areas. Look in other areas, because when you study wealthy people, one of the things that we know is that wealthy people have property in other locations. They spread themselves out. That being said, you also want to understand something, and I shared this with you. When you are looking in neighborhoods and you see a lot of building going up, and you see the sidewalks and streets are being pulled up, go to the next neighborhood. That one's already sold, because people invested. You invest for the short and you invest for the long. The long is, you know that the projections say in 10 years that area is going to build up. So you may be holding that property. That's the long. The short is 12 to 24 months. Those are some clues relative to location. And get bold. That means always be asking. ABA, always be asking people when you're going to events. Ask about their neighborhoods. Ask about real estate. Real estate is a topic that, second to money, is real estate. People want to talk about real estate. You sound smart. Segment number 2, we talked about educating yourself. Educate yourself. You need to go to a minimum of three classes before you decide that you want to buy some software, you want to buy additional books, you want to buy a one-on-one program. Before you do all of that, educate. Now, here's the deal. We do not want to have paralysis. We do not want to have analysis paralysis. We're educating to move ourselves. Educating to move ourselves into a place. That means have a deadline for when you want to be purchasing. Have a strategy, have a plan in your head. I will be purchasing by April 2019. If you are purchasing by April 2019, then that means this is the amount of time that you're giving yourself to get in preparation mode. You've got a checklist of what you need to get done in order to make that happen. And yes, thank you. Educate yourself. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I love that. It is so important, because I'll tell you what, if you don't, somebody's going to educate you, and they may not give you all that you need to know. Because remember this, and again, I do not begrudge them. This is their business. Their business is to sell you product. And if their business is to sell you product, then guess what? They're going to do just that. And they're going to compel you. And I'll tell you, by the time you get to the third class, the third seminar or class, you're sitting there going, okay, yeah, I've heard that. Ooh, I heard that. They're going to have the prettiest people to talk to you, to compel you. They're touching the heartstring before they touch the brain string. I'm just saying. Educate yourself. Go up on the YouTubes, grab some stuff, and remember, YouTubes have private portals, they have open information. So take that in, be about the business. Remember, you do not want to get hung up on the distractions. So you want to starve the distraction, feed the focus. No more shiny objects. Like Hammy Baker said, no more shiny objects. No. Okay. Last but not least, what are economists saying? A lot of the information that I share with you comes from Fortune magazine, comes from The Economist rather. It comes from Yes magazine. It comes from uh, the Frederick Capital. So I'm pulling from different locations and I'm culminating them. And I am being so exonerated because we are talking the curve. We are talking the fact that within the next, by the start of January 2019, we are in a serious watch mode. In a serious watch mode. Why? Because we are fastly moving into the storm. You are now seeing more investors, more folks wanting to grab deals as quickly as possible, because we're going into a starve period. So you can do one of two things. You can hold, which actually I'm really going to encourage you to be looking at the starve mode. Hold that cash and watch the starve mode, because you want to catch the storm when people are, they're practically begging you to purchase. How will you know some of the storm? When you see people selling stuff when you see that great looking car and you see people selling stuff, selling those pocketbooks, selling the clothing out of the back of their car, not just in one area, but you start going to really what I would call ritzy areas, and you see people selling stuff out of the back of the car, you know things are happening. When you are following developers and you're watching where they're purchasing, things are happening. Check out the rental amounts in neighborhoods. Things are happening. These are the messages that the economists are sharing with us. What do I mean by the rentals? Oh, that's an interesting one. We'll be talking about that one next week. With that being said, I want to thank all of you for being with me. Valerie Hall, thank you for your comments. Thank you, Nellie Rosario. Thank you, Coco Bright. And all of you that took time out of your day to be on the broadcast with Brent Harding, I appreciate you tremendously. I want to share with you right now, this day, go out, be amazing, and be with us on Monday, August 13th, 6:15 p.m., where Halt International Business School, the sneak peek of the makeover of Brent S. Harding. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye now.